Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
I think we got to talk right away about this Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah.
Because like when I heard about it, I was like, oh, okay, another company that's using Kickstarter to get themselves out of the basement and to get out there and launch a product. And then I'm like, wait a second, these guys have already raised a chunk of capital. So these guys are doing this for a different reason, obviously. So I was wondering, why the Kickstarter? Why was it oversubscribed in your opinion? And why not an equity-based platform?
Well, so as far as an equity-based platform, that's not really what we were looking for. We already had investors in the company. Having gone through this period of running a sports social network to encourage people to do more sport and be more active, one of the things that people came to us time and time again saying was, we find it really hard to find affordable equipment, and particularly apparel. They were finding that they were spending a lot of money, or sometimes if they couldn't afford it, they were having to compromise in quality and going for low cost things which just weren't performing very well. So we started to look into the market, and we found that whenever the major brands were making their sports gear, a large chunk of the money, probably about 40%, was going on above-the-line advertising, on big money celebrity endorsements, on bricks and mortar stores, and on all the middlemen along the supply chain, so the wholesalers to the shops. And so we discovered that actually it wasn't necessary for sports apparel to be as expensive as it is, and that it would be possible for us to manufacture right from scratch. So the stuff that we're making is not our logo printed on somebody else's kit. This is all our own stuff, designed by sports apparel designers who've worked at some of the major brands. We've got fabric technologists working with us, basically bringing us the best fabrics, the most cutting edge fabrics in the market. And we're able to deliver a product to the end user at 30 to 40% less than before. We obviously thought this was a great idea, and we knew that people would like this, but we weren't, we needed to know that they were definitely going to buy it. There was no point, because obviously the factories that we're using don't really deal with small players. They are looking at, if you're going to do this, you've got to go big. So we needed to make sure that we had the backing of our community. It's a very big community, but we needed to make sure that they were going to back us.
How big is your community, out of curiosity?
So the total number of users is about 200,000.
Okay.
They're very active and very engaged.
Right.
Particularly our top users are on the site all the time. It's kind of a way of life for them. They almost define themselves as tribe sports people. If you look at things like their Twitter profiles or other presence online, that a lot of these people are actually saying, I am a tribe sports user. That kind of defines them.
Are these Brits, Yanks?
No, actually, so our user base is actually, it's around the whole world. It divides down about 40% of the US, 30% are the UK, and then 30% the rest of the world. So we see ourselves...
Sounds like our audience, pretty much exactly.
So we see ourselves as a global platform, and we see the sports brand as well as a global platform. And that's why on Kickstarter, when we were offering this, we opened it up to everybody with free shipping to both the UK and the US, and then just a small token amount for the rest of the world, because it's a bit more expensive to get that out there. So we're definitely with this, launching it as a worldwide brand, but targeting particularly the UK and the US. And so our users were telling us this is what we want to see. The Kickstarter campaign was firstly a way of raising some money to be able to put the order in. And also to just make sure that this was not just something that people were telling us to do, but that they were going to back us on it as well.
Right. No, I guess nothing shows that more than someone actually paying up, right?
Yeah.
That shows
pre-buying.
It's not just a vote or a retweet or something. It's actually, I guess, vote with your money, right?
Yeah.
So now it's oversubscribed. What do you do with extra money? What does that tell you? Does it tell you you need to make more of this stuff, do more of these campaigns, or what?
It does, yeah. So when we saw that the campaign was going well, it allowed us to place orders for more variation of products. So it meant that in the beginning it was just the technical tees, but we were able to add a couple more products to the Kickstarter campaign because we knew that it was enough money to be able to place the orders for those products as well. Then as it increased as well, we were able to investigate doing more colors and more variations on the product. So all of the money went back into the products. And that is the way that we see it going, in that this money is going to be plowed back into developing new products and to investigating other products across other sports that we want to make as well.
Wow, it's really a really cool idea, and that's great PR for you, right?
Sure, yeah. I mean, Kickstarter was a great platform in that way, in that we got a lot of press off the back of it. We were featured on a lot of different sort of not just tech journalism, but for us actually, because we don't really see ourselves as completely a tech company, we see ourselves as more of a consumer company, in that our target audience is more the sort of normal people on the street. It's not the kind of tech scene so much, although there is quite a bit of crossover as well. Obviously, a lot of people in the tech scene, such as yourselves, are very keen on keeping fit and keeping active and also measuring it as well.
That just are taking ideas from the U.S. and trying them out in Europe, or do you find that things are completely separate? Like your own?
No, they're very integrated. I mean, the information sharing between kind of Europe and the U.S. is constant. We like backing concepts that are already working in the U.S. We love taking companies to the U.S. like Presley and Issue and Podio that are working in Europe and can work as well in the U.S. The U.S. is the largest domestic market for software products, right?